EU Copyright Directive, it's called, is going to try and hold online platforms liable for users' copyright infringement. So basically, there's a larger story of what this whole new set of EU laws are going to mean. The EU's divisive new copyright plan explained from an article from Wired UK from going back last fall, at least, maybe even a couple of falls ago. Of course, because it takes a little while to cram legislation down people's throats. The interesting thing comes in the fight over this copyright directive. MEPs say they mistakenly voted for Articles 11 and 13. EU says, too bad. So about that terrible vote by the EU Parliament to approve the copyright directive, including the dangerous Articles 11, which is essentially the link tax, and Article 13, requiring online platforms like YouTube to filter or remove copyrighted material. The key vote was whether to allow amendments that could have deleted those articles. They're voting on what to vote on, basically. It failed by 5 votes, 317 to 312. Soon after the vote was finalized, a few of the MEPs, members of European Parliament, who voted against the plan for amendments said they voted incorrectly and meant to vote for the amendments in order to get rid of Articles 11 and 13. Apparently, someone changed the vote order, which threw them off. Quote, what happened was that in the middle of a sitting meeting, it was decided to make an adjustment in the order of voting in itself. This did not appear in a clear way, where the president was also somewhat confused, end quote. Indeed, soon after that, some others admitted to voting incorrectly, believing they were voting for something else. A few hours later, the EU put up the official voting record, which includes an astounding 13 MEPs who said they voted incorrectly. All told, that would have shifted and allowed to vote on the amendments. A slim majority, the law would have been opened up to deleting Articles 11 and 13. In other words, whoever changed the order of the vote maybe pulled a fast one and got the EU copyright directive approved. If you're wondering what can be done now, as TechCrunch writes, the answer is not much, as according to the EU, quote, MEPs may still issue corrections to their votes in case of mistakes, which will, however, not change the outcome. James?
The European Union. Government by and for the people. Asterisk, the people means a select group of clique lawmakers in Brussels. This is representative democracy, the way it's meant to be done. Ooh, let's change the voting order. What are we voting on? Okay. What did I just vote? Oops. No, wait, I didn't mean to vote that. Too bad. And guess what? Unlike, say, I don't know, the Lisbon Treaty, hey, Ireland, you voted the wrong way, let's do that again. Or unlike, say, Brexit, hey, England, you voted the wrong way, let's do that again. This time, well, I don't care if you voted the wrong way, it's the right answer, so we'll accept it. This is exactly how the game works. It is a game. Anyone who believes in this charade doesn't have 2 brain cells to rub together by this point. On the more substantive point of Article 13 and what it is, obviously we'll throw in some links to some material that goes through it in a brief nutshell, but Article 11 and Article 13 being about copyright, being about the link tax, which we've talked about before on the program, so we'll throw in a flashback to that on New World next week. But long story short, I don't think this is the final nail in the coffin. This is part of a process and a procedure, and now all the individual member states of the EU have to implement it in their own laws, in their own countries, and they'll enforce it differently, and there will be different ways of interpreting these laws. So it's not like this is the be-all and end-all, but it is another link in the chain. And just like SOPA and PIPA and all of these things that people came together and defeated at the last moment, they'll just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until they get what they want. And what's the response to that? What's the answer to that? I'm open to suggestions, but I think that remaining in the EU is probably not for the good of anyone in the European Union right now, let alone those in the UK.